It's another Thunder Thursday on News OK Live. I'm Mike Sherman, sports editor of the Oklahoman, joined here live and in person by this part of our Thunder coverage team, beat writer Eric Horn, columnist Jenny Carlson, columnist Barry Trammell, and I suppose remote from Northern California here soon will be our beat writer Anthony Slater. Guys, Anthony Slater, of course, is here to talk about, he's out there to cover Super Saturday, the long-awaited Thunder Warriors game. Eric, I think there's some folks who expect us to print a special section about this game.
We should.
We are?
Good idea.
Let's get right on
Let's do it. Let's get started tonight.
Okay. Thunder Warriors or Panthers Broncos, which is more eagerly anticipated?
From my perspective, Thunder Warriors, we've been waiting for this all season. It's the first time these teams will have met, and the Thunder really have had a relatively light schedule to start the season. They're going to get backloaded with Warriors, Spurs, Clippers games, and this is the litmus test. This is what we wanted to see from this Thunder team. So I'm all in for Thunder Warriors on Saturday.
Is that what you chalk the anticipation up to, Jenny? The fact that the Thunder has not been sufficiently tested to this point?
I mean, I think that's part of the equation, and I do think around here that is probably higher anticipation for this basketball game than for the Super Bowl. Now, does that mean people aren't going to watch the Super Bowl? No, of course we are. It's not at the same time. The NBA is not that silly, for crying out loud. So we'll, of course, be watching all of it. But I think around here there's just such a fascination about what the Warriors are doing. People want to know how close the Thunder really is to that elite of the elite level, and now we finally get a chance to see it. So it's not just other good teams that they haven't been tested by. It's not being in the same building as the Warriors, and I think that's the real question, is just how close is this team to the Warriors, team that won the championship a year ago, a team that's got 72 in its sights or better, got the reigning MVP. People just want to see how do they stack up on the same floor.
Barry, how will they stack up?
Oh, I think they'll be fine when they have the ball. When the other team has the ball, it's not going to go so great. So, I mean, we've seen it all year. The Thunder struggles defensively, especially on the perimeter. The Warriors sort of like the perimeter. So, but it's going to be fabulous entertainment. I mean, the Thunder will be able to score, no doubt about it. With Durant's playing as good as he ever has. Westbrook's playing better than he ever has. Adams has become an offensive force. Dion Waiters is in this lineup, which means they've got more offense in the starting lineup than ever before. It's a premier offensive team, but unfortunately so is Golden State, and Golden State has shown to be better defensively this season.
And by the way, Victor Oladipo, who you saw firsthand on Wednesday night, he scored what? Nearly 40.
37.
And had what? 17 shots? I mean, that kind of efficiency. If Victor Oladipo is doing that against the Thunder, you don't think Mr. 51 on Wednesday night, Steph Curry, might not have a pretty effective offensive night against the Thunder?
That makes me wonder about this anticipation. It's not really anticipated like Christmas Day is anticipated.
There might be some dread factor.
It seems more anticipated like Tax Day is anticipated.
Or going to the dentist.
Yeah.
There's kind of that.
Well, some of us like to go to the
dentist.
I had a cavity filled this morning. I can honestly say it was not a great day.
I could tell the way you were talking.
Yes, I know. But no, I'm fine now.
The anticipation, though, Barry, it comes with a sense of a bit of dread.
Well, the whole dang season's been kooky because the Thunder's 38-13. They're on a 61-win pace, and there is a sense of doom because the Warriors are so much better than the rest of the league. 45-4 now, I think they are. So they're historically great on the way they've been playing, and there's the belief that the Thunder can't beat them. And think back, ever since really the 2011 playoffs, it's never been that way in Oklahoma City. Thunderville always thought it had a shot or thought it was going to win. And it's sort of a new feeling to be, facing a huge mountain like this where you're a big underdog, even though you're a legitimately great team yourself.
Steph Curry is no small part of that, of course. Steph Curry, he of 51 points. Steph Curry, he of the MVP season. And yet, there seems to be a lot of anxious thoughts and ideas that this Russell Westbrook-Steph Curry matchup is going to be a point guard showdown for the ages. So how do you see it going down, Eric?
I think I see it going down. However, whatever Russell Westbrook decides to show up and play defense, it's going to be a big part of it. I think Russell Westbrook's going to score. I think he's going to rebound. I think he's going to assist. He's going to do a lot of things we saw him do last night against the Magic. Russell Westbrook's one of the top 5 players in the NBA right now, but as Barry alluded to, the defense hasn't been there consistently enough for the Thunder this year. And if Russell Westbrook comes in with a defensive mentality, I think that's going to trickle down to everybody else on the team. If he decides that he wants to stop Steph Curry or make things harder on Steph Curry, that's going to change everything for the Thunder on Saturday.
Barry, can he stop Steph Curry? Could a Russell Westbrook, who decided to channel his best UCLA Bruin, Russell Westbrook, like he did O.J. Mayo, can he shut down Steph Curry?
Well, not really, and frankly, it's a different assignment than almost anybody else they play. I mean, when you, like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, whoever ends up guarding Russell Westbrook, I mean, he's got all kinds of assignments just Russell specific. Staying in front of Russell, keeping him out of the lane, those kinds of things. The Warriors, they don't attack. With Steph Curry doesn't attack, the whole dang team attacks you. The way they pass the ball, the way they move, the way everybody can shoot and score. So Russell needs to play good, solid, fundamental defense, but not just against Steph Curry. The truth of the matter is, Russell Westbrook, on most possessions, is going to be covering multiple Warriors. The Thunder defense, especially when it's playing small, switches on almost every screen. So Westbrook could be on Curry, then on Thompson, then on Iguodala, even Draymond Green on the same possession. So everybody's got to pitch in and play your roles and play your assignments, or the Warriors find a weakness and get an open shot and usually make it.
And we've seen from Westbrook at times this year that it works to his advantage that he freelances and goes for those steals. And he's leading the league in steals right now. But can he afford to do that against a Warriors team that can make you pay from all 5 positions? Like you said, he has to have that defensive stability. He has to be disciplined in the way he plays. Otherwise, the breakdowns are going to come behind him. And if he's not the guy who's setting the tone defensively in terms of making sure he's disciplined, then it's swing around the perimeter. It's Draymond Green hitting the 3. It's Andre Iguodala hitting the 3. They got 5 guys that can beat you.
The timing of this point guard matchup in particular, Jenny, while it might not be the matchup might not be ideal for the Thunder, 45-4, is that right? I mean, it's a mind-bending number. Right. It is an ideal time, however, for the fight card, the marquee event, Curry versus Westbrook. Sure. Westbrook's got us thinking about things like, what would a 20-20-20 game, what would you call that? It's a triple-double, but like...
Double.
It's a double, triple-double.
It's a double, triple-double.
We named it last night on press row. double, triple-double.
That sounds like some sort of move in an ice skating performance.
It does.
I was thinking like an ice cream store.
Double, triple-double.
Although that sounds like a great idea after this.
Good, you had dental work today. Not so fast.
Hey, I can eat anything I want.
So there's the double, triple-double. Yeah. Then there's the math that I was trying to get Barry to do for me last night.
Well, I'm going to do it this afternoon.
What would it take for Westbrook to average a triple-double?
Wow.
So he and the way Westbrook is playing right now,
yeah,
it's mind-bending. Eric talked about it, the offensive rebounds, but to me, it seems like he could as easily devour Steph Curry as the Warriors could devour the Thunder defense.
Well, I mean, I do think that it's an interesting idea because, you know, what Russell Westbrook is doing, I mean, it's unbelievable, really. And until, you know, the Warriors game gets over last night and we find out Steph has tallied 51, I mean, everybody would be talking about what Russell Westbrook did at the end of that game. I mean, to come in out of nowhere and grab a rebound that really shouldn't have been his, that then gave him a chance to go down and, you know, essentially say, I'm taking this ball to the hole and there's nothing you can do to stop me. You know, that to me, those are the type of plays when he decides he's going to just, you know, impress his will on a game. There's not a whole lot you can do to stop it. So I don't know what the Warriors do to keep him in check. That's a big question mark too. But I just don't know if the Thunder defensively right now overall can do enough to keep up with the Warriors. I mean, I think it's a fascinating matchup because you see a team that continues to give up, you know, 120, 127, 113. And I mean, how is everybody's mind not racing to what in the heck are the Warriors going to do to this team? I mean, I think you have to sort of start to wonder just how high could they go.
Race to 50, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, go.
Yeah.
You start wondering about things like that. You start wondering about, I mean, who's more likely to get triple-double, Steph, Russell Westbrook, or Draymond Green? There's all kinds of questions. Guys, I throw this out at you most of the time. I have a fill-in-the-blank, so today's fill-in-the-blank is this. Eric, the most amazing thing about Russell Westbrook is?
His ability to go get rebounds at will. And I'm just going off of what I saw last night. I guess I'm being a quote-unquote prisoner of the moment. But there were times last night where he would wait for guys to fight for rebounds, do their second or third jump for a rebound, and he would kind of just slink down and then say, okay, I'm going to go now. I think Russell Westbrook has an innate sense as a guard for when to go, and I think his athleticism helps in that regard because he can wait a little bit longer than some of your other guys to go in and snatch a rebound and be a quick strike guy. So I would say his rebounding is the thing that just separates him and his athleticism combined with that.
His third straight triple-double, a career-high 19 rebounds.
19.
Including two big ones. Barry, the most amazing thing about Russell Westbrook is?
His ability to remake himself almost every season. He just keeps getting better and better. He reached star status about 5 years ago. He reached superstar status 2 or 3 years ago, and yet he still gets better and better. I mean, the way he sees the floor. Remember when people thought he was a ball hog? Now, sometimes you think he's not shooting enough. He sometimes passes too much. The way he sees the floor and sees the game, he doesn't get near enough credit for that. Remember the old days when people said this guy had the point guard?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. And look at the way he commands a team and passes the ball and sets people up. I mean, it's unbelievable the way he just remakes himself every year.
Remember the old days when they said that he and Durant didn't get along, and now there's theories that, Durant's going to go, he's going to go to LA and essentially have a burn year for nothing just so he can wait and play with Russell Westbrook. I mean, what has happened here?
Here's the hope and dream of Thunder fans. Russell keeps remaking himself. Next year, he comes back as Alvin Robertson or somebody and the greatest defensive perimeter player of all time.
I just think the thing to me, and it sort of hits on what both of you guys are saying, but the thing that stands out to me about Westbrook is just in a game where you've got such fantastic athletes, up and down rosters, he stands out. His athleticism, his quickness, his speed. If you watch a game, there are just times you see him make plays and you think, was that on fast forward? Was that the same, or am I watching that guy in the same resolution as the rest of the guys on the floor? And I think it stood out a little bit more to me this year, too, in the standpoint that Serge Ibaka seems to have physically sort of had a little bit of a regress. I don't know if it's just age or he sort of has hit maybe that almost downward stretch of his prime years a little quicker. I don't know what it is, but I'm sort of reminded of when Serge used to have that buoyancy about him and he was everywhere all at once. And you don't see that as much out of him. But Westbrook hasn't changed. It's like he's still 20. It's like he's still playing out at UCLA, and it's Arizona State tonight instead of Orlando. So to me, that's just remarkable that he still has that youthful buoyancy about him physically to do things that you just don't see other guys doing.
Buoyancy. It reminds me of that movie Flubber. That's Westbrook, Flubber. It's that goop that bounces all over the place, shatters everything. And the most amazing thing about Russell Westbrook to me is that what he combines. We were fond of writing and thinking about the rare package that Serge Ibaka is. A 3-point, a guy with a great touch and a shot blocker. And we said, where do you get a package like this? We combed around, dug into basketballreference.com to try to show me guys who can do this and have these numbers. And you found a couple. I don't think there's a column in Basketball Reference for this, but what Russell Westbrook is the rarest combination of is the most athletically gifted person in the game. And I'm saying that now because I think LeBron is sort of crested. Probably. So I think we can be safe in saying that, coupled with the kind of drive that coaches like to wax poetic. when it comes from a guy with a bunch of court burns, knee pads and diving on loose. That's who Russell Westbrook is. Show me another elite athlete who combines the drive and energy and plays that hard. Never seen anybody play any harder.
For as much as he has the ball, it's really remarkable what he's been able to do in terms of controlling the game and not turn the ball over. I don't think he had a turnover last night until maybe the last minute. Wow. It's pretty remarkable, his usage.
And he tried really hard to get Steven. He threw Steven Adams an impossible. I mean, the guy is audacious. Isn't that a great word? He's one of the most audacious players, and he pulls it off. Okay, guys, we know Russell Westbrook is not an X factor. He is he's an alpha. So is Kevin Durant. But as you look at the game Saturday night, Barry, who is the Thunder's X factor against the Warriors?
Oh, I would say it's probably Ibaka. He's going to be put in a lot of tough situations. He's going to be guarding a lot on the perimeter. The Warriors, when Bo gets out, everybody shoots threes, everybody moves around. Serge is a lot more used to the perimeter than the old days, but it still doesn't necessarily come easy to him. They switch it a lot, as I talked about. He's going to be guarding Klay Thompson some. He's going to be guarding Steph Curry, who's going to play all kinds of mind games with him, and Serge isn't going to know whether to fall back or come up, and he's going to be put to the test. But he's also athletic himself. He can make some plays, but he's going to be under constant duress defensively.
Jenny, who you got as the X factor?
I'm going to go a little off the court, and I'll say Billy Donovan. I mean, I think that this is going to be a really interesting test for him as a rookie head coach. Obviously there've been big games already. They opened with the Spurs, obviously. When you're talking about his first NBA regular season game, it's a huge test, and we've seen just how tough a team that is as the season's gone on. So clearly did fine there. They played Cleveland, so he's faced some teams, but when it comes to the type of environment that the Warriors have on home court, just the way that they're playing right now, and they are going in down Andre Robertson, so he's without a perimeter defender that could potentially come in handy. How does he mix and match? What does he do? What lineups does he use at different times? Something Barry and I talked about in press row this morning, the question of trying to push the Warriors back to a bigger lineup, get them out of the small ball lineup that they've been so good at and force the hand a little bit. Does he do that some with maybe a Steven Adams, Enes Kanter lineup?
I like that question. That's something Scott Brooks could never do. He never had the big offensive button to push. He never had a mauler on the offensive board like Enes Kanter. Good one, Billy Donovan. Who's your X factor?
Now, I would say Enes Kanter because I did ask Billy Donovan today if it's going to be one of those games where he can possibly impose his will on another team, maybe throwing Enes Kanter out there and go big at times. But I'm going to go with Dion Waiters. I mean, we've talked about Andre Robertson being the guy that's going to be missing from this matchup, a guy that you can go guard multiple positions on the wing. And Dion Waiters is going to have to be that guy. The Warriors have a bunch of guys on the perimeter that can score. Klay Thompson can get microwave hot. Dion's going to have to be locked in defensively from the beginning of the game. Billy Donovan's talked about that before. If Dion's not scoring, he has to be doing the other things well on the court. So Dion's shown at times that he can be a good two-way guard for the Thunder. He can defend. And he's going to have to do that against Klay Thompson. Otherwise, Klay Thompson's going to have easy shots.
Waiters is getting his shot. He's got a prolonged look at being a starter in a contract year. If Waiters is going to really cash in, now would be a good time to start. Let's end it up here. Who you got, Eric?
I'm going to go with the Warriors because of the home court advantage. And as we've talked about time and time again, the Thunder are going to have to prove to me that they can play elite defense against an elite team.
Jenny, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Warriors too, and I think for a lot of the same reasons. I do think it's going to be a tight game because I think this is the type of game that you'll see the Thunder get up for. I think you'll maybe see them play better defense than we've seen them play over the last couple of weeks just because the challenge is going to be so significant. But, I mean, this is a great home court advantage with a great team that is offensively equal to better than the Thunder and defensively is better than the Thunder. So I think if you're you equal it out and you say where's the advantage, I think you have to say that the Warriors defensively win that advantage, and so I think they win.
Barry, before you answer, real quick, Could the Thunder still win with a loss?
Well, there would be some positive benefits because the Warriors seem unbeatable. Go out to Oakland, play a good tight game that goes either way, like we saw last night, like we see 2 or 3 nights a week from most NBA teams. Go out there and play the Warriors tough.
Which the Cavs and the Spurs did not.
Right. Yeah. Well, then you think, in a playoff series, we got a shot. Now go out there and lose 113 to 89.
Which the Cavs and Spurs did.
135 to 111. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and I think the Thunder will play them tight. I think it'll be a good game. We have not talked about number 35 that much. Last time he played against Golden State, 30 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Had a sprained ankle at the end of the half, didn't come back. But, Golden State doesn't have a lot of answers for the Thunder either. So I think Durant will be locked in. I think Westbrook will be locked in. I expect the Thunder to play well. I expect it'll be a fourth quarter game.
And
I'll take the Warriors. They're unbeaten at home. They haven't lost literally
against them
in 13 months at home.
Yeah.
Neither the Spurs or the Warriors have lost at home this year. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. That's all for Thunder Thursday, but you can stay with the best coverage team every day at News OK and every morning in the Oklahoman.